Hi, I'm Jamie, the traveling baker. It's Tuesday, and this week we're going to talk about how to best avoid jet lag on a long trip. So here are my tips. One thing you want to do is stay hydrated. I mentioned this last week on plane safety, and that goes true with avoiding jet lag. With that, you want to avoid caffeine, not only during the flight, but a good day before your flight. You also want to avoid a little bit of alcohol. I mean, it's true, a little bit of wine on your flight might help you sleep, but it's just going to make you more tired later on. So stay hydrated and drink water during the flight. Number 2, some articles that I've read suggest that you need to start getting in your time zone and living in that time zone. But if you're like me, you work and you are working and living and doing stuff right up until your trip. So getting up 5 hours early for the workday isn't really going to work. But what you can do is maybe start doing things gradually. So if you are flying east, so when I go to Iceland, I will be in a time zone 5 hours ahead of what I normally am. What I could start doing, a week leading up to the trip is going to bed a little bit earlier. And this might help me adjust to those time zones a little bit better. Number 3, you want to sleep on your flight, again, especially if you are traveling east and should be sleeping in the country where you will be landing. And one way to do this, again, I talked about last week with some of my safety, my health tips on the flight. So make sure you eat, wear an eye mask, do what you need to do to be comfortable, but you want to sleep. If people are sleeping at your destination, you want to sleep on the plane. A lot of times the flight will dim the cabin and dim the lights to help you with that. Number 4, no napping. This is really prevalent when you get to your destination. So one way to avoid that is to stay active. So when I arrive in Iceland, it will be 8 in the morning. I might be tired, but the last thing I want to do is take a nap, because a 20-minute power nap could turn into a 3 or 4 hour long nap, which is what you don't want to do. Otherwise, it will throw your schedule way off for the whole part of the trip. So what you should do is, take a walk outside, be active, do some exploring, try to check into your hotel, take a shower, get refreshed, wake up as much as you can, and then get on their schedule. So you'll want to go to bed when they're going to bed in that country. You also want to just eat some light meals when you land and on the plane. You don't want to be dealing with indigestion and an upset stomach. So one way that you can avoid that is just by lightly snacking when you arrive and just not filling up on bigger meals. I also set my watch as soon as I'm on the plane to the time that I'm going to be at in my destination country. That way you're kind of already in that mindset. And again, when you're changing over several time zones, it can get confusing. So get that watch set right away to your new time zone. So that's what I do to avoid jet lag. I hope these tips help you on your next trip, and I will see you next Tuesday.